The Dhammapada by NIGIRI Press. A quick intro to the Buddha and his Dhamma. The Dhammapada is a collection of sayings and stories attributed to the Buddha. In it, he sets out his basic teachings on how to live a good life and achieve liberation from suffering. The Dhammapada is one of the most popular Buddhist texts, and its simple yet profound message has resonated with people for centuries. The Dhammapada begins with a declaration of the importance of taking responsibility for our own lives. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. The Buddha then goes on to say that the key to ending suffering is to follow the Eightfold Path: right views, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The Dhammapada is not just a philosophical treatise. It is also full of practical advice on how to live our lives in a way that will lead to happiness and freedom from suffering. The Buddha encourages us to cultivate positive states of mind, such as compassion and loving kindness, and to let go of negative states, such as hatred and greed. He also urges us to develop self-discipline and mindfulness so that we can be more aware of our thoughts and actions and avoid making mistakes. The Dhammapada is a powerful reminder that the choices we make in our lives can lead us to either happiness or suffering. By following the Buddha's teachings, we can learn how to live our lives in a way that will bring us lasting happiness and peace. Self-mastery. One who conquers himself is greater than another who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 men on the battlefield. Jesus. He who rules his spirit has won a greater victory than the taking of a city. Rumi. The lion who breaks the enemy's ranks is a minor hero compared to the lion who overcomes himself. Leonardo da Vinci. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. Walk alone. If you find no one to support you on the spiritual path, walk alone. There is no companionship with the immature. There is nothing wrong with seeking out the company of others on the spiritual path. But ultimately, it is up to each individual to find his or her own way. If we rely too much on others, we will never learn to stand on our own 2 feet. But if we are brave enough to walk alone, we will discover our own strength and wisdom. What are you thinking? Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Those are literally the first words of the entire book. I'll repeat them. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Armies in your mind, more than those who hate you, more than all your enemies. An undisciplined mind does greater harm. The 4 Noble Truths. Buddha's 4 Noble Truths are: 1. Life is full of suffering. 2. The cause of suffering is selfish desire. 3. Suffering can be relieved. 4. The relief of suffering can be achieved by following the Eightfold Path. Nirvana and the Bodhisattva. The literal Sanskrit root of the word nirvana means a blowing out or extinction. In Buddhism, nirvana represents the highest state of consciousness in which all selfish desires and attachments are no longer present. The point beyond nirvana that I always thought was cool. The idea of a bodhisattva, one who reaches his or her own enlightenment and chooses to return to the world in service to all sentient beings, committed to resting when all beings are happy and free.